Hey everybody, Jamie Pate here. Welcome to this video and welcome to NSD Week. What is NSD Week? It's called National Scrapbook Day, but it's actually International Scrapbook Day. But I've actually been celebrating International Scrapbook Week because I really don't think a day is long enough. Who's with me? Can I get an amen? A day is not long enough because we should be telling our story all the time. And I know we want all the things on our pages. And that's the cool part about it too, right? That's the scrapbook part of it. So I'm going to do something a little slightly different today. I want to just jump off with a walkthrough. I actually started this album last September. There's a video about some of the makings of this album, and I will link that below. I wanted to walk through it again and to kind of give an update as to what I've added to it. It's really on my radar. It's on my workspace to get this done here, like really soon. I want it to be done before summer's actually here. This was a getaway with girlfriends last year. This is utilizing the Set Sail Storyline Chapters book. I think they call it a notebook. Actually, it's going to be linked below as well. Right now, I'm only finding this at ScrapbookCom. It could be other places. That's the only place I found it. This book is also sort of inspired by a class that Heidi Swapp has taught. I will link that as well. So there's some of that in here, some of it not, some of my own version. So as we walk through this first page here, I do a voiceover tutorial of this on that video that actually happened last September, and that's what will be linked below. So you see how I'm putting this little peekaboo space through here. It's got a rub-on on it. It has some puffy numbers to give the date. It's really important we get our dates on that page. And then it opens up to this wonderful vellum page. And it was so cool because with rub-ons, and I'm using here 49 Market's Sunburst collection, super fun for travel, getaway, for every day. Some of the things can definitely translate to everyday stuff. But I thought it was just great fun to use the rub-ons on vellum to kind of create your own transparency. And then I added some phrase stickers and a little die cut here, Fun at the Beach, Another Day in Paradise, vacay mode, and then utilized a full page photo, which I love to do. I don't do it a whole lot, but when I do it, I absolutely love the impact that it gives. So then as we come into here, I have added a strip of journaling. And so I typed it out. It's about 3 inches wide. And then I put just a strip here of pattern paper, and then I added more rub-ons here on this page to kind of give it some balance. I have a little 3-inch width photo here with the die cut on top, and then I actually have another photo on the other side. I've kept it open so far because I haven't completely committed to, yes, I'm done with this. So that's why that's still open. Then I made a little interactive situation over here. I have yet to come in. I just want to do rub-ons right here, but I have added some journaling to this little simple interactive piece. So that is that page. And then I talked a little bit about this grid, and I will repost that link here, but this grid photo template is a free download for you. Boy, I'm having trouble getting that out. I hope you understood. It's a free download so that you too, and if you have taken my Print Your Photos class, I talk about templates and how to utilize them and how to make them work. And so you might be interested in that class, but for sure you could be interested in this template as well. I think it's a great way, especially with these size albums. I call them storyline chapters because that's originally what these were. But as a side note, this book here is the same size as the Heidi Swapp Storytellers books. It's also the same size as the Heidi Swapp Memory Planner book. It's this 7.5 inches wide, 9 inches tall format. It's really great for telling everyday stories. It's fantastic for these bigger stories of something very specific like this. So I talked a little bit in that previous video about putting this together, but we're going to do this in this video here at the end as well. And I'm also going to walk through adding these clusters and talk about that. So then the book continues with this page. It's supposed to go like this when you open it up. The page just sort of naturally flaps open. This is a great way to get 3 photos on here. These are about 4 by 5 inch photos. And then I tucked in here this journaling piece. Remember, emphasis on our journaling. Oh, I still have yet. It's sitting in my printer. I have a photo for the back side of this, but there's that photo. This is part of that class Heidi Swapp taught. And then there's another photo that's supposed to go there. So work in progress, friends, work in progress. This was a 4-photo layout here telling that story. And then this is what we will be doing in the tutorial to follow. We'll be doing this page together. I have one other page to share with you, and then a little sneak peek into something. So I have so far the next story in this book, and I added 3 photos into here and a little small little booklet kind of thing. But I have this page all done as well. It's just not attached to the book. This is what you can see on May 4th, 2024, Scrapbook.com, celebrating National Scrapbook Day. It's going to be on their channel. And after that is available, that will be linked here below. But make sure you are a subscriber to Scrapbook.com and make sure you jump over and watch that. Okay, here's how this page here came together. Okay, then, so this page is going to have a lot of repeat elements from the first grid page that I did. So I have torn this pattern paper off, and I'm just obviously adding a dot adhesive to it. I'm making sure my corners are covered, so that's what I did right there. Just going to add that to the very edge. It's going to kind of hang over a little bit, which I'm fine with because I'll just come back and trim it like I am getting ready to do here. And then after I trim it, then I'm going to come back in with a corner rounder and make it look like the page before I put that strip of paper on there. Also, like that first grid page, I decided to just follow along. It's almost like making your own sketches. It's like using your pages for your own next sketch. I love that. So I am trimming out this large rub-on, gorgeous rub-on with that butterfly and all the details. Oh my word, I just love it so much. I get really geeky about this, and it's going to take me a minute here to rub this on, and to transfer this rather, because it's a little larger and I'm a little spastic about it, and I should have just focused on one corner, and I started to do that here. So you just got to kind of find your own way with rub-ons, I think, and be patient. And make sure as well that you're pulling up the edges so you don't miss any of the parts. But the thing is, it's pretty easy to go back in and place the rub-on sheet back on top of it if you have to correct that. But that is now all done. And now time for a pocket, just like that first sketch, or that first page rather. So I'm using the nested pocket dies from Scrapbook.com, one of my most favorite ever pocket dies ever. Did I say ever? Because I really dig those so much. Did you see me there? I'm looking at how I placed it before. And here's the thing. It's not even placed the same as the first one. And I think I even sort of muttered in my first one about how I didn't place that one where I want it to be. Well, I didn't do the same thing here. And it's okay. It's fine. It still works. It does the job. And it's going to be holding a tag that has my journaling for these photos. So that's the job I needed this to do. That's the job this pocket is going to do quite well. The 1/8" double-sided adhesive from Scrapbook.com is a really good size for the folds on these pockets. And so that's what is happening there. Just going to remove the backer piece, and then it's going to get placed right there, sort of hovering over that pattern paper and hovering over the rub-on. So I like my sides to connect to things and to touch the other elements that are involved there. Now there's a ticket from the ephemera from Sunburst. And did I mention this is 49 Market Sunburst? Because I think I did. Anyway, I've just cut it in half. I added some hot glue to the back of it, and I'm kind of holding it in place because I don't want it to be flat, but I don't want it to turn either. So I'm going to use one of the laser cut pieces. Those are gorgeous, by the way. They're my new favorite thing from 49 Market. And I'm just kind of eyeballing where I think I'm going to like it. There's like really no right or wrong. And so some double-sided adhesive is going to pop on the back of the label, which is also from the Sunburst ephemera. And I'm just going to use that adhesive to work that leaf in place right there. I figured there was enough on there. So that's in place. And now I wanted a sentiment. And I grab the tiny attacher, and then in mid-attach, I decide, nope, it's kind of a long sentiment. So I decided instead to just cut it in half. and to put it in onto that label and just kind of give it a little bit of a slant to both of those pieces. I'm using the 1/8 inch double-sided foam adhesive. It's like I got a lot of favorites going on here. That's my thing. I just love everything that I work with. And so I think that's great for sentiment strips, is to use just that 1/8 inch adhesive foam. And so that's done, except for adding in my tag. Okay, so over here, we're going to speed this up just a little bit because I pre-measured these scrap pieces of pattern paper. Again, kind of went with what I used on that previous grid page. And I'm just adding the dot adhesive and putting those in places. And this is a really fun aspect of a grid, is that you get these pocket spaces that you get just to do whatever with. My whatever is going to be repeating the element that is found on the pocket on the left side of the page. So I have the other side of the ticket, and I have another kind of a palm leaf, if you will. I have a different tag, or not tag, I'm sorry, label. I have a black label. I have a little bit different sentiment, but I think that's kind of the fun part. We've repeated all those elements, but it has a little bit of a different vibe to it. So, and that time I did actually staple it to its label. I'm pretty happy how that turned out. I'm really happy how this page turned out. It really helped to add that green pattern in. That really just popped the whole page for me. Sometimes you get lucky like that. I've threaded this tag here with some of my favoriteest twine, and I'm just kind of wrapping it in a circle, and I'm going to staple that down onto the tag. It's just a real easy little element. It provides some fun texture and interest, and then I'm just going to trim off the extra part of that twine. And I've grabbed another, I don't know, I kind of was a little crazy with the foam adhesive here. Now I have the squares. Don't ask me. I don't know. The squares are actually really easy. I like just being able to just, with one hand, I can pull them off. I don't have to cut anything. That really is a nice advantage to those squares that are on that backer sheet there. So the tag is overlaying that pattern paper spot as well as some of the photo, and then the circle sentiment is overlapping the tag. So that part of that square, if you will, is done. The last little element is a larger piece of ephemera. It's also, I got really, can you see, I got really left-handed eccentric. Everything's kind of living in that corner there for some reason, but it is going to just play nicely with both of those squares. So I had one more space open, and for the last grid, I used a photo. I didn't have a photo this time. So I reached for this very large piece of ephemera, actually, and just trimmed it down to the same size as the photo. And I really liked how that turned out. And that basically finishes up our page for us. And so I want to thank you so much for watching. Let me know what questions you have in the comments section, please. And be sure to catch the next layout in this vacation album on the ScrapbookCom channel on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. You know I was going to do that. In the meantime, check out the links in the description, and I will see you in the next video.